having meaningful real estate conversations. We always talk about, Todd, we own our own businesses. We are real estate entrepreneurs. I don't meet people who own their own business that don't want to talk about their business. Okay, that is just how it is. Now, if I got a buddy that's a full-time employee working the graveyard shift at Walmart, well, he still may want to talk about it because I'm sure he's seen some things. Right? Okay, but number one is make having real estate conversations your primary goal. The more conversations you have about real estate with people, the increased chances you are going to have of getting clients. So lead every conversation or encounter with anyone that you meet, anywhere that anywhere that you're about and talking with and so forth. Always at least try to have a real estate conversation. And again, it's a mindset thing. I own my own business. I'm in the business of selling real estate. As a matter of fact, my license says real estate salesperson. This is what I do for a living. And sometimes people get a little intimidated. Oh, well, people are going to get tired of hearing about real estate, and maybe so, depending on how you do it. And that'll be point number 2 and point number 3. But I'm always trying to have real estate conversations because really people want to have conversations about real estate. And if I meet somebody new, I always trying to figure out a way and a time to ask them what they do for a living, because they will generally reciprocate and ask me what I do for a living. And the moment that you ask me what I do for a living, look out. And if it's someone that you know, talk about their job. How's the job going? How's your business going, and so forth, so that conversation is reciprocated.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head with that one. I mean, Clint has said this, our CEO, for years. You can't be a secret agent and be successful. And what that basically meant was being intimidated to have a conversation about real estate with people that you do and also don't know. So, Mike, this is a perfect segue into what people should be recalculating and rethinking and reevaluating with Mindy's fourth quarter evaluation, looking to go into next year. This is important. So I'm anticipating number 2 and number 3 are going to be those types of things that will help us have, more of a conversation about how to get that started.
All righty. So number 2 is know what people are curious about and already have your responses. Well, one thing we learned about COVID and the craziness of the market is people want to talk about real estate. And they have questions because they hear things and they hear all of these crazy stories. So people are very, very curious about real estate. But you also got to have prepared responses for them of how you're going to address the different areas that people are curious about. People are asking me about market stability. They want to know, I listen to your stats every single Monday. And for those people that are and understand what's going on in the market, we're not worried about the stability of our market. But the average consumer is. They're very concerned. I'm having a ton of conversations with people about the differences between 06 to 09 and now, and what things are in place that are going to keep our market from crashing. They're hearing about is the market slowing down? I hear the market slowing down. What does that mean? Well, that means instead of 30 offers on your property this weekend, you're going to have 5 offers on your property this weekend. Exactly. The market's not slowing down.
No.
It's just not, homes are still selling.
Exactly.
And have a great conversation about we're heading towards a more balanced market. I'm telling people that instead of looking at it as a slowdown, our market's getting healthier. We're heading towards a more healthy market. It puts them, at ease. They want to know what mortgage rates are. I hear that. When are mortgage rates going to go up? Okay, when someone asks me that means I got to have a conversation about you need to get into the game today, because if I learn anything from what Matt said today, rates are going to be going up. Why was the market so crazy? I love having that conversation, explaining to people why the market's so crazy. And then for our team, and I know a lot of people here on the webinar, we work with a lot of investors. We work with a lot of people who are in the market to buy a home, but they're thinking about putting their home as a rental property. I hear that. What is the rental market like? Well, I'm like, you think it's hard to buy a home? Try having to rent a home under $2,000 a month.
Absolutely. And again, this is so true. And you don't need to be the market expert, but what you have to, again, this says know what or understand why people are curious about this, is another way to say this heading. And it's because they're hearing the sensationalism of national news. And so when you're listening to mostly national news, you can only really extrapolate a national perspective. When you have someone that you trust and rely upon talking about local news or hyper local news, hyper being, maybe the community in which someone lives in, or the city to that fact, then all of a sudden people, it really is, Michael, a totally different conversation than what they're hearing. And so you have to also think about the fact that the first thing they're going to do is go, oh, no, you're wrong. I heard it on national news and you're just a local realtor. But the reality is we've got to find a delicate way to share with them the reality. I love what you brought up about the fact that people are trying to compare this, and they are, to the boom bust, type period, 2005-06. And maybe we should, maybe I'll put together something on that. But I would also recommend, take some of these stats and do a little 30-second or 1-minute video. You don't have to report it like I do. Pick one item of that your clients, a majority may be saying, and use that.
Yeah, and I'd love to look back over the last 12 months, but I can tell you that I have a good number of closings that I've had over the last 12 months because I've purposely got myself into real estate conversations. And if I didn't purposely get into those real estate conversations, I would not have known that they were in the market to buy or sell, and they probably would have gone somewhere else. Absolutely. To somebody else having those conversations with them. Point number 3 then is know your stuff. No, to your point, know the numbers. Be very. I love having inventory conversations with people and helping them understand what's going on with the inventory, the average sales price, the average list price. So know the numbers. Always know your rates. You should know that interest rates went up. According to what Matt said, rates ticked up a little bit. You should always know that, and you should know where rates are. Know what the trends are. We talk about trends all the time on the web, and there's a gazillion places that you can go to online. Know any of the news or the changes. I love Matt's presentation today. Everybody should be having that conversation with people.
That should be today.
That's a huge,
yeah.
It's a huge change.
Absolutely.
in the qualifying process. And I love knowing, the jobs market. People want to know about jobs because for me, jobs are, and I'm not an economist, but when I'm taking a look at the health of our marketplace, I'm looking at jobs. I want to know about jobs. I want to know about companies moving in. Are we creating jobs? Are we losing jobs? And then, of course, just know your local economy. Know what's going on in the economy. Do you know why that our economy did so well through COVID compared to to other markets? And you need to know your stuff because I'm just throwing out a number, but I'm going to say at least 95% of agents out there that I come in contact with really don't know these things and it's not that they're dumb.
Yeah.
They just haven't researched them.
That's right. Yeah. What you focus on expands. If you take the time to want to know these numbers, then you'll all of a sudden start seeing different numbers that pop into your conversation, meaning with other people, and then you can utilize those. But again, know your stuff, but remember, you don't have to know it all. You just need to know the piece you're about to talk about. So if you're talking about inventory, then have a detailed conversation about inventory. We've certainly given you the information. But to Mike's point about the local marketplace, that's the reason why you want to plug in. Jobs. When people are moving to Arizona, they're moving here because they are with the understanding that we have jobs that they're going to be able to obtain. Number one, and that's real important. Also, population movement. When you start seeing people coming into Arizona, 50,000 extra a year or 80,000, an extra per year. Those are instrumental numbers. You can look back to the 1990s, Mike, when, you and I were first doing this, and you can take a look at, what the population increase did to Arizona. I remember, don't you remember too? There was 1.2 million people in the state of Arizona in 1991. Now there's 7.4 million. Do the math.
All right. So that is our 3-pack. I'm going to just